Hello everyone, my name is Sabina and I'm the host of the Czech Central London's podcast series called When Art Talks. Last week we officially kicked off the 29th Made in Prague Festival, which among other exciting events features two exhibitions at both of our galleries. The first one is called Silent Systems, Breathing Devices at Vitrínka Gallery. The second one is called Breathing Breaths with Air Bladders at the Bouda Gallery. Today we are joined by Czech artist Filomena Borecká, who lives in Paris and whose artworks we can now admire at both of our galleries. So Filomena, welcome. Thanks for making the time to answer my following questions.
Hello, Sabina. Thank you to invite me.
Both of your exhibitions at the Czech Central London galleries revolve around the topic of breath. What first inspired you to explore this subject?
There are several things that inspired me. I think the very first one was when my father used to read me fairy tales, and it was about a virgin that started suddenly to breathe. It was a sculpture, and I was very touched by the image that the sculpture started suddenly to breathe, and it was thanks of the art, thanks of the sculpture who sculpted the form of her body. And the second one is the experience with the localization, with the changing of the country. When I was accepted to École des Beaux-Arts de Paris, Paris was very big, it's a metropole. And so I experienced the solitude to be alone in this big city. And I realized the air was something which connects people together, even if they are different of gender, of social background. And also this experience I had in New York with panic attack, when you have really the problem with breathing. Then I started to do big drawings, which I could really invest all the breath.
So as I already mentioned, you take part in two exhibitions. The first one is in the Bouda Gallery. It's called Breathing with Breaths, Air Bladders, and it is centered around a sculpture on which you collaborated with the set designer Bruno de Bois. If I'm not mistaken, it is inspired by your childhood Christmas memory. Me being a Czech person, I think I can imagine what moment in the Christmas Eve preparations this is all about, but perhaps for our British audience, do you think you can maybe share more about this specific moment and how it inspired the sculpture?
We are again in the childhood. It's this experience with Christmas Eve in Czech tradition. We are having a carp, the fish, which is living in the Czech rivers. And when I was a child, we had it several days in our bathroom. But there were this big disappointment when the animal disappeared on the Christmas Eve morning. The carp was being preparing for a dinner. And the only thing that left was these air bladders. And they were on top of the kitchen like something floating. And this collaboration with Bruno de Bois, it was very interesting because thanks of this collaboration, we found out how to make visible something invisible, which is these air bladders. They are realized from the spinnaker who was firstly flying in the air because it's a recycled spinnaker from the hot balloon.
The second exhibition, called Silent Systems, Breathing Devices at Vitrínka Gallery, there we can see your pieces exhibited among 4 other artists. At least to me, your pieces have somewhat meditational feel to them. So I'm very curious to know, how does the creation process look?
The curator, Dare Dada, he selected 3 of my drawings. And these 3 drawings are from the cycle that I do very regularly, which are inspired by capturing the instant. I am not drawing the breath. I am, as I said, it can be a very strong memory or some experience. For example, in the exhibition, I have one drawing which is calling Pain. The other is calling Connection. Another is called First Touch. So it's inspired from different experience. I am not like really drawing the breath, the drawings, and you mentioned that they are that you feel like meditation from it. It's true. It's very important to me to connect to my breath. So this is the 3 drawings that will be shown, where I desire to offer my experience with breath, which is very enriching, to the viewer who is open to the experience.
So I've noticed that some of your drawings often extend beyond the canvas onto the walls of the gallery itself, which at least to me seems like a pretty powerful gesture. What does that represent to you?
I think freedom. It represents the potential freedom, and I love to exceed the limits by this practice. It started in New York in 2003, where I realized the cycle called transmigration.
You speak of breath as both physical and a spiritual act. How do you personally connect with your own breath in your daily life or in your creative process?
We don't realize very often that we are breathing. It's something automatical, intuitive, and is quite revealing how people take it for sure. If it stops, everything stops. So practicing the breath to realize it, to work with it by yoga or different exercise with sophrology, it helps me to find the stabilization. Thanks of this consciousness breathing, I can be present to my artistic practice, and I desire to share it with the viewer. Like it was mentioned at the beginning of our interview, with this sculpture that started to breathe. I think that the art can, or for me, it functions like that it can make you be alive. When I practice my art, I feel being alive, and I hope that I can share it with the viewer.
Okay, Filomena, so these are all of my questions, but is there anything else you would like to share with the audience?
So I would like to invite them to take their breath, take their time to really perceive it, because sometimes we can't disconnect from the telephone, from all these things that are so intrusive or so present. So I wish they can really take their time, and I hope they will appreciate the exhibition.
Filomena, thank you again for joining us today. I would just quickly add that Filomena, besides being an amazing artist, she's also an academical researcher. And right now she's conducting a questionnaire related to her research on breathing. You will find the link to this questionnaire below. She would really appreciate if you could take just a few moments of your time and answer her questions the same way she just did to mine. And also, you're very welcome to come and see this exhibition for yourself. And don't forget to check the Czech Centre London's website to learn more about the events that are awaiting you during the 29th Made in Prague Festival. And that's all from me. I hope I'll see you there soon.